Alright, so to get started with the Go language, the first thing you need to do is download and install Go. So you're going to click this Download Go button, and when you get here, you're going to have a bunch of different options. And the options here are all based upon what kind of computer you are using. So if you're running Windows, you'll be looking at these options, Linux, these options, FreeBSD, those options, and OS X, these options. You'll notice that some of the options say 32-bit versus 64-bit, and that's cool. If you don't know what that is, that's just basically like the word size. And word size, maybe you don't know what that is either, but word size is how many single zeros and ones can a processor process at one time in one chunk. And so 32-bit machines can process 32 zeros and ones at one time. 64-bit machines can process 64. So how do you tell if yours is a 32-bit or 64-bit computer? The easiest way is just like 32 or 64 Windows, right? Just Google that, and you'll find step-by-steps on how to discover that. And same with OS X. I'll just show you, since I'm on OS X, how you do that. But I'm just going to go here and go to About This Mac, and then in here it tells me a bunch of information, and I'm going to do a system report. And then inside my system report, I'm looking for my CPU. And my CPU is an Intel Core 2 Duo. I guess I could have seen that right here. I think it said Intel Core 2 Duo right there. And so when you do 32 or 64 Mac, you'll be taken to a Mac article right here, and the Mac article says, what is your processor? Intel Core 2 Duo is a 64-bit. And so that's how you tell on a Mac. On Windows, it's slightly different. You go to Start, you go to your computer, right-click it, and choose Properties, I believe, and then that's how you see it on Windows. So anyhow, you want to download your source file. Go with the installer if you have that choice, unless you really know what you're doing, and then install it. And once you have it installed, there's usually a few instructions here, like here's Windows, and then there's also the Mac right here, and then there's also those other ones. But it says that there are some optional things, so let me just check that out. I guess this isn't the page where it says there's some optional things you could do. So just install it, and once it's installed, it says it should automatically put the user local that into your path environment variable, and in Windows, it says it should also, do that here too. So checking your path variables in Windows is different than checking it on a Mac. And in Windows, you could just, Windows path variable, right? You could kind of do that and then just see how do you see that in Windows. And on a Mac, to see that, I'm going to go into the terminal, and at the terminal here, I could just type in env. And environment, that's what that stands for, env. And so I typed in env, and env takes me to my environment. And then here inside my environment, I could see my path, and I'm looking for that thing that it said it would automatically do, which is users local go bin, and go bin, whoever bin is, and there it is, user local go bin. And so it's the last, most recently added item on there. We're going to learn how to set a Go path variable for any folders where you're using Go code, so I'm going to show you that in a future video. In this video, before I stop this, you just want to make sure it's installed and you have this in your path environment variable, which, it's just good to check, and it should just be a no-brainer already in there. If it's not, maybe, I don't know, try reinstalling or ask how, Google, how do you set a path variable?